Hello everyone, Lyle Montgomery here with GetFocusToday.com and the Extreme Power Focus System. As we continue talking about the mindset, in this lesson we're going to talk about how to play the I Caught You game. Now the I Caught You game is nothing bad. It's not like, ooh, I caught you. No, what it is that every time, remember in the last session we talked about having an accountability partner or mentor or a group. The purpose of that group, remember we said, is to reinforce positive behavior. But what happens when they hear something negative come out of your mouth or if you say something negative? Part of the I caught you game is every time you say something that is negative or someone hears you say something negative, even about yourself, you owe them a meal. Yes, a meal. Or a monetary dollar amount, $5, 10. Personally, make it $50. Personally, make it $50. In other words, you say to your accountability partner or partners, listen, I'm trying to change from being a negative thinker to a positive, optimistic thinker, and I need your help. So every time you hear me say something negative about someone else or about myself, I owe you a meal or I'm going to pay you $50. This will quickly get you to think about the consequences, especially when you end up paying or taking your friends out to dinner several times or having to pay someone $50 or $100. And for some, it may not take that. For some of you, just the idea that, man, every time I say something negative, I'm going to have to treat someone to a good dinner or lunch or pay them $50. I better govern what I say. And that's the point, is to begin to self-govern what we think and what we say. Now, here's the second part of the game. Begin to change your language patterns. Begin to change your language patterns. What do I mean by that? Replace the word but, but. Instead of saying, oh, I know I should be working on my vision, but. Do you realize every time you say the word but, it cancels out the preceding words? Let me say it again. Every time you say the word but, as in, I know I should be working on this or I should have done this, but you just canceled out everything preceding up until the point of but. Then you say, well, what do I say? Do I use the word however? No, here's a better word. Simply replace the word but with the connector, the word and, A-N-D. Understand your words have power. As I mentioned before, using the word but not only negates whatever you said before it, but it also causes people to be defensive, whether they realize it or not. And even when they are smiling, they may be feeling, speak to the hand, I'm not listening. Those of you that are married, especially men, you've had this happen. Honey, how do these pants or these blue jeans make me feel? Do they make my certain part of my body look wide? Every man that's been married for some period of time or been in a relationship knows it's a trick question. And we all say the same thing. Baby, you look fine. Even though we truly may be thinking, I wouldn't necessarily wear those blue jeans. But we don't say it. Why? Because whenever we say, baby, you look fine, but cancel Christmas, because all they heard was, you don't like what I'm wearing. It's sort of like saying, I love your brochure, but I have a few changes I would make. I understand your perspective, but let me share with you some other ideas. You see how that made you feel? All you heard was the but. And I know I kind of emphasized, somewhat animated the but you get my point. Whenever we hear the word but, it sets us psychologically on defense. So eliminate the word but from your vocabulary, because people become defensive. So let's do it again and insert the word and. I love the brochure and I have a few suggestions. See the difference? Non-threatening. I understand your perspective and allow me to share some additional ideas. Smooth, easy, non-defensive, non-abrasive. You see, when you add the word and, it takes away the defensiveness, the feeling of, did he just dismiss how I feel? Or quasi inferring or making an inference that someone is not intelligent as you. So now it becomes, I love the brochure and I have a few suggestions. Honey, you look great in those jeans, and I think we're going to have a great time this evening with those jeans on. Something like that. So, on your worksheet, come up with several, at least 5 examples of where you can replace the word but by implementing or inserting the word and. Go ahead, get started. This concludes our lesson on understanding the mindset. I believe this has been a tremendous help to you. And when we get started in our particular modules, modules 1, man, we're going to hit it hard. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, thank you for purchasing the Extreme Power Focus System. I guarantee we're going to have a lot of fun. You're making great progress. Stick with it. Don't give up. Don't quit. Remember, all of us go through periods where we get focused. We need to refocus in order to stay focused. So stay focused, stay with it, and I will see you as we begin module number 1.